number one most requested video from you guys to me is how to get cheap flights / cheap airline tickets / cheap airfare. Well, guess what? This is this video. Now, there is one thing that I want you guys to remember throughout this entire video. The number one tip of getting cheap flights is you have to be flexible. There's no way that you're gonna get cheap flights without being flexible. And I'm talking about flexible on the dates that you're flying, flexible on the times that you're flying, flexible on the destination that you are flying, and flexible on the airports. If you are flexible in all of those and more, if you're even more flexible than that, then I promise you, we can find you some cheap tickets. Know your airline comparison engines. The best ones that I use and that most travel bloggers use are Kayak, Monmodo, Skyscanner, Hitmonk, and Airfare Watchdog. Those are the best ones that I have personally found. So the first thing we're gonna do is obviously check the airline comparison engines. They're gonna compare different airlines and different types of tickets. Then go to those airlines' direct site and see if maybe they offer a better deal or a better route. Another trick is if you find a cheap flight on one of these airline comparison engines, take that flight to your local travel agent and ask them to match that. A lot of times they will match it or even beat the price. So that's another way to get an even cheaper flight from a cheap flight. Check the surrounding airports in that city and in nearby cities, as it tends to be cheaper to fly into larger airports. This is especially true in Europe when there's so many large cities close by. It's really easy to take buses and trains to get to the city that you want to go to. Just remember though, before you start celebrating your great savings by flying into another airport or another city that's close by, check the price of how much it's going to cost for you to get from that airport or city to your hotel or to your intended destination, because that can add up to be quite a bit more. And if you're not careful, then the price kind of negates itself and there's no point in flying to the other city if it's just going to cost you. The same goes for booking red eyes and for booking early morning flights. Make sure you know the cost of getting from the airport to your hotel, because that can add up to quite a bit extra if you are not careful, especially in the morning time when public transportation is not running, or late at night when public transportation is not running, and then you're forced to take taxis, which are always going to be more expensive than public transportation, thus making your total airfare cost more expensive. If you have more time on your hands, you can set up something called a price alert. Kayak does this really well, where you have a saved route and they will alert you to when that route's price goes down, or if it's going to potentially go up higher. So it'll give you advice on when you should buy that ticket to get you like the best price possible. That's a very good tool. Another good tool is using Airfare Watchdog, which you can kind of put your departing airport in, and they will tell you when there's great deals either everywhere or like certain places that you want to go. Another option is signing up for deals. So these are deals from the airlines directly. These are deals from tour companies or things like Flight Center, or they are deals from the airline comparison engines. And basically, if you can put up with newsletters coming into your inbox quite frequently, they usually have like flash 1-day sales, 2-day sales, discounts, and percentages off certain destinations. Keeping on with the flexibility topic, don't pick your destination first. Google.com/flights have an amazing tool that basically lets you put in your departing airport and search everywhere else in the world, and it gives you the cheapest flights in that time period that you are selecting. So if you're flexible on the destination, you can get some really great priced flights. One, it's a great way to get a cheap flight, and two, it opens your mind to destinations you never would have thought of visiting before. Airline credit cards. If you haven't already, sign up for one. You need to get a points card in one of the 3 major airline alliances: SkyTeam, Star Alliance, or One World. And which one of those you choose will be dependent on whatever is your local carrier. So wherever you live, whatever airline serves that destination, that airport more frequently, or your country more frequently, get the corresponding airline card for that. By signing up, you will automatically get bonus sign-up points. Almost all of them offer a signing bonus, which is just for signing up. And normally that's almost a free flight, or is a free flight just by signing up for the credit card. Then put everything that you buy on that credit card. I'm talking about everything. Put your groceries, put anything that you buy. Try to even put like your rent and stuff like that, if you can, on that credit card, because every dollar you spend is a point that gets you free flights just by buying things that you are already going to be buying and already going to be spending money on. Obviously, don't go crazy and start buying things you don't need, and make sure you don't keep a balance, because then you're just going to be paying interest, which is counteracting all of the points that we are accumulating. Book your tickets in parts. This is going to be a whole lot of trial and error that's involved in this. Booking your tickets in parts gives you a lot of flexibility, because you can, one, leave from different airports and different cities and different countries. So that's a lot easier to look into that. And so one airport or one city or one country might be cheaper than the other. So when you add up those two one-ways, it's actually cheaper than the return ticket would be. Say you were traveling from Australia to England and your destination is England. Check out maybe if you want to do a stopover somewhere in between. You could stop over in Dubai or something. So you can book a one-way to Dubai and then book a separate one-way from Dubai to England. Check the price of that to see if that's even cheaper than flying directly to England. When do we fly? Weekends tend to be more expensive because a lot of people fly because they have the time off during the weekend. This is pretty much standard knowledge, so fly during the weekday. Don't fly during the holidays. Don't do it. You are not going to get a cheap flight. It doesn't happen. Holidays are just ridiculous. Airlines always increase their fares. There's always increase of traffic. It's chaos. If you can avoid flying during the holidays, avoid it. Delete your cookies, aka your browser's saved settings, because if you are looking at a certain flight, by some flight airline comparison engines do this, some airlines do this, but they save your data and they might increase the price because they want you to create that urgency that you should buy right away because now the price is going up. Buy domestic flights domestically and buy international flights wherever. But try not to buy domestic flights in any country that you are going to when you were abroad. Buy those flights when you were in the country because they are cheaper with the local currency, using the local search engines, and when you were there. Trust me. Best day to buy, Tuesdays or Wednesdays, maybe Thursdays. It's basically just when all the airlines, when a lot of the deals come out, so. Best time to buy. For domestic flights, I find between 3 months to about 2 weeks. You can get a pretty decent price in domestic flights. After 2 weeks in, then you're kind of going to be paying a bit more because it's so like last minute. For international flights, it's between 5 months to, I would say, 3 weeks. After about 3 weeks, those international flights can go quite up. But anytime in between there, then you're probably going to get an okay deal. Fly standby. If you are super, super flexible, like really flexible, and you're ready for an adventure and risk, you can always fly standby, which is like going to the airport and being like, so what flights do we got here? What can you put me on? What's the best price? Where to? And then you hop on a flight and it can be pretty cheap. I've not personally ever done it because I like to know a little bit more of what my destination is, but I do know friends that do fly standby a lot. So if you are flexible and you're just like ready to go for adventure, that is an option for you. Things to look out for, excess fees. It's nothing worse than buying a cheap ticket that you thought was cheap and then going to the airport and realizing you're going to be paying $50 each way for your bags. That doesn't make it a cheap ticket anymore. So make sure you know that whatever flight and airline that you are flying with, do they charge for baggage fees? Finding cheap flights is a lot of trial and error. It takes a lot of time. There is no perfect formula. There is no magic button. It takes just trying, testing, putting in different locations, putting in different things, waiting, being patient, keeping your eye out for stuff, and being really flexible. Remember, flexible on date, time, location. And you can find them. I promise you can find cheaper flights if you put in that time. And it's worth it. Trust me, that time is worth it when you are saving hundreds of dollars. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If there is any other things that I did miss, please let me know down below in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more travel videos and more travel tips. But yeah. Alright, bye!
Los Angeles is situated in Southern California on the west coast of the USA. Home to 18 million people, Los Angeles is a collection of distinct cities that rolls out from the dry Santa Monica Mountains to the Pacific Ocean. LA's sunshine, her entertainment industry, and her openness to newcomers and new ideas has made the city a magnet to dreamers. Many of those whose dreams become reality, like Walt Disney and John Paul Getty, poured their wealth back into the city, helping make LA one of the great culture capitals of the world. Downtown Los Angeles is a center of global business and home to some of the finest examples of American civic architecture. It's also the birthplace of the city. Wander down Olvera Street, one of the oldest surviving areas in LA, to experience the colors and tastes of Old Mexico. Just across the road from Olvera Street is Union Station, one of the world's great railway stations. You'll be forgiven if you experience a sense of déjà vu here. Union Station has been featured in almost 30 big-budget movies, including Pearl Harbor and Blade Runner. Stroll south to Little Tokyo, or J-Town as the locals know it, which is home to Buddhist temples, galleries, and museums. While you're there, why not try some super fresh sushi? After all, the California roll was invented right here. Half a mile to the west is the Walt Disney Music Hall. Looking like pieces of sheet music thrown to the wind, this stainless steel wonder is home to LA's Philharmonic Orchestra. Hail a taxi for the short ride west to the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. The 100-piece collection at LACMA houses works that span the ages, from the classical periods through the edgiest street art. Right next door is a very different kind of gallery. At the La Brea Tar Pits and George C. Page Museum, remains of incredibly preserved mammals, insects, and plants are continually excavated and brought once more into the Californian sunshine. Heading further west along Wilshire Boulevard, the aroma changes from the smell of tar pits to money. Welcome to Rodeo Drive in the heart of Beverly Hills. This is the world's most expensive and exclusive 3 blocks of shopping. But you don't have to be a star to enjoy Rodeo Drive. Most folks are content to window shop. But there's more to Beverly Hills than just bling. Only a street or two away awaits a world of leafy boulevards and incredible homes and gardens. Head north to Hollywood, the epicenter of the world's entertainment industry. Track down your favorite star on the historic Hollywood Walk of Fame and catch a movie at Grauman's Chinese Theater, the most famous first-run movie theater in the world. Take a walk on the wilder side of LA to West Hollywood. WeHo is a haven for artists and designers. As evening falls, boogie on down to Sunset Strip, home to iconic clubs such as the Viper Room and the Whiskey A Go-Go. Boogie on down. Griffith Park is the largest and wildest urban park in America. Here, perched high on the slopes of Mount Hollywood and offering superb views of LA, you'll find the Griffith Observatory. Built on land donated by mining magnate Griffith J. Griffith, admission to the main building and grounds is still free of charge, according to his wishes. Universal Studios is the oldest continually running movie studio in America. It features a theme park based around its blockbuster movies and popular TV shows. However, the star attraction is the Studio Tour, which winds its way through acres of sound stages and backlots. And if you have that sense of déjà vu again, it's no wonder. Some of the sets have been featured in dozens of movies and are still in use today. "20 miles southeast of downtown is Knott's Berry Farm. Originally a berry farm in the 1930s, this theme park has grown into a family favorite with child-friendly rides, short queues, and offers a real taste of America's pioneering heritage. Just down the road in Anaheim is Disneyland Park. Since its opening in 1955, over 600 million guests have delighted in seeing Disney's much-loved characters brought to life. The Port of Los Angeles, the biggest container port in the USA, sits on San Pedro Bay. Climb aboard the USS Iowa, a World War II battleship which saw service in some of the most dramatic episodes in world history. Nearby at the Aquarium of the Pacific, 500 marine species sway, swirl, and dive through the various marine systems of the vast Pacific, from the sun-drenched coast of Baja to the frigid waters of the Arctic. Long Beach was once the birthplace of California's surfing scene, but a breakwater has now tamed the wild waves, making the beach an ideal destination for families. From Long Beach, hop aboard a ferry and take a 1-hour trip to Catalina Island. Once the home of otter hunters, smugglers, and gold prospectors, these days day trippers and weekenders are far more interested in working on their golden tans and escaping the frantic pace of the mainland. Heading west from LA, Santa Monica is one of the most popular resort towns in the U.S. Santa Monica epitomizes the California lifestyle of sun, sand, and the body beautiful. And right at her heart is her iconic pier. Things get a little funkier just down the coast at Venice Beach. Long the center of LA's counterculture, Venice is more than just a beach, however. The main attraction here is the promenade. So pull on your inline skates and join the colorful and sometimes bizarre human parade. After the craziness of Venice Beach, head 5 miles north to the tranquility of the Santa Monica Mountains. The Getty Center houses the extraordinary art collection of billionaire John Paul Getty. Water features prominently throughout the complex, encouraging quiet reflection. Hire a convertible and follow the scenic Pacific Coast Highway to Malibu. 21 miles of prime Californian coastline, scented with salt and coastal sage. Many of LA's stars live in homes that cling to these dramatic hillsides by the Pacific, which is the perfect metaphor for LA. A city built on an unshakable optimism and a devotion to creation, both human and natural. Welcome to the City of Angels.